Hey everybody, what's going on? The Montreal Canadiens have now won 6 of their last 7 games and are playing some fantastic and entertaining hockey right now. Before we get started in today's video, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell, like this video, and comment down below your thoughts on what is currently going on with the Montreal Canadiens. Now, during this positive stretch for the Montreal Canadiens, you're starting to see some of the players that really want to make a difference for this team in the long term. And the first player that comes to mind is Josh Anderson, who could be the future captain of the Montreal Canadiens. Now, there's some interesting tidbits when it comes to Josh Anderson because there's a lot of talk about should he be kept, should he be dealt, depending on where the Montreal Canadiens want to go from here. There's some talk about the Montreal Canadiens potentially with Jeff Gordon and Kent Hughes wanting to add a veteran, high-profile free agent during unrestricted free agency beginning on July 13th. And I think that's an interesting decision, whether that's a Chris Letang, whether that's a Johnny Gaudreau, two different names and different statures. But I think the Montreal Canadiens would be wise to bring in someone of that veteran leadership role to be able to lead this Montreal Canadiens team right now, because I think there's a value in that, and I think there's the point in trying to stay competitive, much like the Rangers did when Jeff Gordon was at the helm. They made that letter to the fans saying this is going to be a rebuild, this is going to be a process, but that didn't stop them from bringing in players like Artemi Panarin in free agency, and I think the Montreal Canadiens should have a similar mindset when it comes to how they build their team moving forward. Now, there is no doubt that the line of Cole Caufield, Josh Anderson, and Nick Suzuki have gelled very well since they were stuck together by Martin St. Louis. And I think this is the type of line that can succeed in the modern day NHL. You have a playmaker in Nick Suzuki, someone that knows how to distribute the puck, and you have a play driver like Josh Anderson who drives the net and creates space for the other two skilled players. And then you have Cole Caufield, who is clearly showing that he once again can finish at the National Hockey League level. And I think this line has the makings of a number 1 or a number 2 line in the National Hockey League, which goes to show you how important this time under Martin St. Louis has been for the Montreal Canadiens kids. The question remains, though, with how Josh Anderson plays and the style that he brings to the table. He still has 5.5 years left at $5.75 million per season. There will be a market for him regardless of what people think. This is the type of player that general managers in the National Hockey League covet, and it might be a difficult contract to move, but the Montreal Canadiens would undoubtedly be able to get a haul in return for Josh Anderson if they do decide to move him. I've been skeptical about this in the past since they signed that contract, but looking at what Josh Anderson can do when he is healthy is just proving the point that these players do not grow on trees. So it makes you wonder if the Montreal Canadiens should cash in when Josh Anderson's value is clearly at its peak, or they should have him along for the long haul and continue to build parts around him along that top line of Cole Caufield and Nick Suzuki. At this moment, if you had to pose that question to me, I would be of the opinion that you should keep Josh Anderson around. I actually think that he would make a very quality captain for the Montreal Canadiens. Now, I know he doesn't show up every night because of the style that he does play. It's not realistic for him to be a warrior for 82 games in a season. We know the injuries he's had on his body already, but I do believe that Josh Anderson is the type of player that you want to have around the young kids and someone that is still young enough where he can be an important piece when the Montreal Canadiens are back to being a competitive team in the NHL. That's it for me today from Cook's Corner. As always, let me know in the comment section down below. Should Josh Anderson be the next captain of the Montreal Canadiens? Should they keep him around for the long term? Or should they deal him when his value is clearly at a very high point like it is right now? I'm Zach Cook. We'll see you later.